Yes guys, what's up? It's Specie here and I hope you're doing well. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more Gwent content, and today it is a tier list for every leader ability in Gwent. We're not just doing a meta report here. This isn't just me showing you what are the best decks right now. This is hopefully something that's going to age like fine wine, and in 6 months time you're still going to be able to use this as a reference point to decide which leaders are good, which suck, which should I never go near, and all those sorts of things. And we'll update it as changes happen as well. But yeah, let me know in the comments, because obviously it's just my opinion. It's a bit controversial. Let me know in the comments, is there anything you would do differently? Is there anything you fundamentally disagree with? Or are there any leader rework ideas you have? Maybe if there's some down in E and F tier, you might have some suggestions on how to improve these leaders. That would be really cool to find out. So I hope you guys do enjoy the tier list video. Alright, first one we've got is Arakaswarm. Arakaswarm, a leader that's not super popular at the moment. Obviously, it's got the 5 drones, but then you have the passive every time you play an organic card. I'm going to put Arakaswarm in A tier. While it's not super popular at the moment, just a really good leader. You can sort of go mid-rangey with it as well if there's a few better organic cards that ever come out. Obviously, you've got Yenna for synergy, Glassy synergy. Lots of things you can do with this as well as the organic synergy. Seems like an A tier leader to me. Second, we've got Blood Money. Blood Money used to be one of the most popular Syndicate leader abilities. Payable won the first, well, it was actually Masters 2 in 2020, December, with this leader ability. It's definitely gone out of fashion a lot. If you look at the other abilities, lots of them have been buffed quite recently. However, it's still a pretty good ability. I think Syndicate just has some pretty good leaders. I'm going to put it in C tier. Like, even though you don't really see it very often, I feel like it's just a good leader. Yeah. All right, up next we have Blaze of Glory. I'm going to put Blaze of Glory in B tier, Iced, and Blaze of Glory. It's very similar and comparable to Blood Money. However, it's obviously just a shoe-in for Warriors. Honestly, I'm actually going to put it in A tier. I think the leader ability itself is just really good. It's mainly just Warriors at the moment. A little bit out of fashion. Reckless Flurry sort of being the more popular choice. Maybe Druids as well when the expansion drops. However, fundamentally, just objectively as a leader ability, it's very bloody good. Like the synergy it has with Iced. There's no reason if you're playing Devotion Warriors to play any other leader ability. And it's only a matter of time until Devotion Warriors comes back. While, okay, right now it's not popular, I don't think I can justify not putting this in A tier, because I've just always said this is just the only way you should ever play Devotion Warriors in Skellige. And again, it's just a matter of time until Devotion Warriors makes a comeback. So A tier for me. Yep, you've also got the Morkvarg, Mr. Habla's mentioned. If you want to play like the Scar package, you can use Blaze on Morkvarg, something we saw Tailbot do. But yeah, I think it's got to go in A. It's very similar to Arakaswarm. It's not super popular at the moment, but it's only a matter of time. All right, up next we have Blood Scent. I'm going to put Blood Scent in D tier, I think. We might obviously like lower this a bit later. It's 12 points overall. It has some synergies. It just doesn't have that control, doesn't have like the explosiveness of Koshchi or Arakaswarm, where it's got like loads of amazing synergy. It can often just feel a little bit lackluster. You're just bleeding at the end of the day. You're not really too explosive. While the points are there with this leader, there's normally better options. D tier seems fair. Yeah, and Best for Business has said that this leader, while the points are there, you know, there's things like Veil, bleeding again. You're not removing things. It's not control heavy. It's just sort of a little bit meh. It's not doing a lot of anything really. So yeah, I think D tier is pretty generous. It's not that bad, but it's not great, to be honest. All right, up next we have Battle Trance. I'm going to put Battle Trance in B tier. We've just actually seen a card that has some great synergy with Battle Trance just be revealed. A Druid card that whenever you heal something, you spawn a Deafening Siren once per turn. Obviously the passive ability of this is great every time you play an alchemy card. The more alchemy cards that are printed, this gets better. It is completing with Rage of the Sea a bit. Rage of the Sea having synergy with Bride of the Sea. But this plays an alchemy card. It has great Crow Mother synergy. It's never been an A tier leader, right? It could be next patch. It definitely seems like it's got a lot of support, but it competes with Rage of the Sea quite a bit. Like, certainly this patch, I would actually prefer Rage of the Sea. Whether that's going to be the case next patch, we'll have to wait and see. Battle Trance with the new support cards could work its way up to A tier. But I think for the moment, it's going to be top of B. I don't think we can really justify, like, putting it in A tier just because it's never really been that good. All right, this one's Dana, right? It's like the Harmony one. It's E tier, guys. Very bad leader. Not good. Harmony, bad. This leader doesn't feel good. I'm sure there's probably better ways of playing Harmony even. I know a lot of people swear by Harmony and say soon it's going to be good. Every time I've tried it, it's felt terrible. I just don't see why you would ever play this leader as it currently stands. So E tier for me. Congregate. Congregate is a really good leader. Is it as good as Araka Swarm? Probably not. I think it's a B tier. Again, Syndicate has loads of great leaders, so it can be overshadowed. But just as a leader ability, I feel like it's pretty damn good. It's got lots of interesting synergy with Dia's Array, Excommunication as well. Obviously, Fallen Knights as well. I really like this leader. I think it's got to be B tier. Horson Jr. as well, Senior rather. B tier seems pretty fair. All right, next up we've got Deadeye Ambush. Definitely a really good Scoia'tael leader ability. The fact that you can do, a leader charge once at a time, and then you've got 3 of them, has synergy with Venosio, Yaven, Isengrim, but also the Ailerin as well. Being able to just go 1 leader charge, which can be enough to get your Ailerin out for like 8 tempo. What a lot of the time this deck will do is play 3 cards in round 1 and then pass. And this leader ability is just so good at resisting the bleed because you've always got reach with the Ailerin. I'm very tempted to put this in S tier. I think, though, I'm going to put it right at the top of A tier next to Araka Swarm. Very similar, I would say, in power level. I'm thinking about moving Blaze down as well when I'm looking at these, but I think it probably deserves to be lower A tier. I think this is not quite S tier. I think top of A tier seems pretty fair for this one. Very, very good leader ability. All right, Double Cross got nerfed recently. It was always 17 provisions, which gave it like a big reason to play it over other things. Imprisonment did also catch a nerf. Tactical Decision with its current existence kind of just overshadows everything, but I think it's still important to evaluate this individually. Has some really cool synergy, obviously, with Assimilate. If Assimilate makes a comeback, this leader is really good. It was always a popular leader ability. Okay, it's lost to Provision. Tactical Decision is super good. I think I'm going to put this like lower B tier, upper C. Let's go upper C tier. I think we're going to be spreading quite a lot of these out. If this Blood Scent is D, I don't think Blood Scent's that bad. I think putting this in C tier is probably quite reasonable. It's just usually overshadowed by Tactical Decision because of the Mage Assassins now. And Imprisonment, if you're looking to play Masquerade Ball, has the coup synergy. If you're going all in Assimilate, sure, this is going to be a nice leader for you. Not sure I see all on Assimilate being the motive anytime soon, though, as long as Mage Assassins stay at 4 provisions. Enslave, a little bit different. I'm going to put this at B tier. While it's not great right now in the current meta, again, it's overshadowed by some of the other leaders. It's only a matter of time. It's really the tactics cards that are letting this leader ability down rather than the leader ability itself. As more tactics cards are printed as well, I think this is just going to go from strength to strength. Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of tactics getting buffed recently. Diplomacy is now 4 provisions, as just an example. I think this is going to be like an upper C, lower B tier. In the right meta, this can really thrive. Like just a C's on a leader is very, very strong, I think. So yeah, I'm going B tier on this one. Up next, we have Koshchi, Force of Nature. It's got to be a solid A tier, right? It's got to be a solid A tier. Koshchi just so bloody good. The relic synergy as well you have with this card, I think is something that we can expect to see more of as the expansion drops. It's only going to get better, I would imagine, with more relic support. I could honestly see this creeping into S tier, but I don't think it's quite there. Yeah, but just Koshchi, wow, is Koshchi good? It's pretty bloody phenomenal. So yeah, let's go A tier for Force of Nature. Overshadowing Fruits, I think, of Iskith, which I'm going to put in C tier. I really don't think it's that bad. I'm actually going to put it like upper C tier. Like lower B is kind of tempting because I do think it's underrated. It probably needs a couple of provisions though and a little bit more support, right? It's just overshadowed by Force of Nature realistically. Guerrilla Tactics, I'm going to put in E tier. Doesn't have enough points. It's just a 6-point leader. Honestly, I'm tempted to put it in F. But I actually think I prefer it to Call of Harmony. There's some interesting things you can do with it with Brehen, with like Cat Witches. You can put them on a certain row and then move them back, like Gezras as well. It just doesn't have enough points. It used to also be like the best leader for Eglace, but that's now Forge with like things like Sorceresses and Francesca. So it doesn't really have much going for it. We're going to revisit at the end, right? All right, Hidden Cache, fundamentally great leader ability. It was always the best leader ability in Syndicate. However, Jackpot, Pocket, and Cove have all been buffed, but the leader's still good. I'm going to put it in B tier. I'm actually going to put it just slightly behind Congregate, just because Congregate's got its own unique thing going on. I think Cache, again, is just going to be overshadowed by Jackpot, Pirate's Cove for like a mid-rangey deck. But it's still really good. Formation. It's been getting loads of buffs recently. I can't really look at above C tier though. While like Enslave has its own kind of archetype going on, like again, why are you playing Formation when Tactical Decision exists? I mean, I may as well just kind of cat's out the bag, guys. Tactical Decision, easy S tier with the Mage Assassins, the Afan, the Snowdrop. It's kind of ridiculous how many points this leader has. In my opinion, it's the best leader ability in the game. Obviously, the Sunset Wanderers synergy as well. And that's kind of what makes it difficult to really look at Formation being and Double Cross being anything above C tier when this is so good. Formation's got a lot of support recently. Soldiers get buffed, and you can also get armor rather. You can also put any card of your choice on top of your decks. There's a lot of cool things you can do with Formation. I just haven't experimented with it because of how good this leader ability is. Imposter, again, it's received some buffs. Can't really see it being above the C tier. These could honestly be knocked down a bit, but I feel like they've all been buffed quite a bit recently. Like a lot of these leader abilities would have been D tier like a month ago. This wouldn't, but this and this. But they've both been buffed. Honestly, maybe I put Imposter D tier. I've never really been a big Imposter fan. I know some people have had success with it in the past. It has been buffed recently. For me, though, I would probably be looking at Imposter like after. I would go to these two before I would go to Imposter. Imprisonment, I'm going to put in A tier. The leader is really good. Again, not sure there's a massive reason to use it over Tactical Decision with Mage Assassins, but people have gone for it with Masquerade Ball, and the main reason is the coup synergy. You can lock your opponent's card and then coup it straight away, turning coup into just an incredible card. Quite unbelievably good. Coup can be a little bit awkward without the setup, but with Imprisonment, it's just so good. Invigorate, kind of an underrated leader. I'm going to put it at the bottom of D tier. It's definitely a step above these two. Definitely needs something though, right? You've got the Mahakam Defenders now at 4 provisions, which is definitely a nice bit of support for this leader. Being able to protect your engines is also really nice. I don't really think it's the leader itself, it's more the supporting cast that lets this down. Inspired ZR, I'm putting in A tier. This leader is just really bloody good. It's close to S tier, to be honest. Very close, but I think Fold Test kind of carries this leader ability. I think if Fold Test isn't as good, this leader ability is not deserving of S tier. And while you could say the same for Tactical Decision, even if Mage Assassins get made 5 provisions, this leader is still bloody amazing, right? So I don't think I can actually put this in the same score as Tactical Decision. I think Fold Test is like the big reason this is really good. While the leader ability is great, I just don't think it's close to how good this leader is. Jackpot. The passive of Jackpot just means it's quite incredible. S tier. Yeah, right now, at the time, Jackpot's 15 provisions. Kind of feels like it deserves like the fruits treatment where it loses a few provisions. If it was to lose like a provision or two, it would slightly fall down. And bear in mind, there's like lots of other very good Syndicate leader abilities. But right now, it's just so good. The Siggy 10 Caesar stuff is kind of nuts, right? Lockdown is in F tier. Terrible leader. Completely awful. I think it's going to be the only one in F tier. Line Pockets is an A tier leader ability. Honestly, close to S tier. I think I'm actually putting it in S tier. I think this leader is just so good. The amount of... Why is Imposter so low? I did have it here, to be fair. You reckon it deserves to go up here? I did have it here. I only knocked it down because I thought I would never go for Imposter over these. But I did have it here at first. Yeah, I'm going for Line Pockets at S tier. Cleaver Drill, obviously great. But you can just extend your bank by 9 coins at all times, right? Sorry, 6 coins. Also, the crime cards, Smuggle, Dip in the Pontar, Fist Tech, Shakedown, Swindle are all so bloody good. This leader ability is just quite incredible how many points it has. Forge, like with the new cards we've seen, honestly Forge like fundamentally isn't that good. It's more like the supporting cast is kind of good, like the Dwarf synergy is kind of cool. I'm going to put it C tier. I feel like Tempering needs to be buffed, and then it would be higher. But the dwarf synergy, plus like the spell synergy it has, or not the spell, the special card synergy, like with Whisperers, with Orbs, with all that sort of stuff, right? All right, mobilization. All right, I've got a thing to say about mobilization. If this could be used on siege engines, it'll be up here. If it could be used on mages, it would probably be like here. As it can only be used on soldiers, it's kind of like down here right now. I do feel like there needs to be better soldiers to copy. Arbalist, archers aren't great. The leader is still fundamentally quite good though. Obviously you can use it on Centurion guards as well. But there just aren't any good soldiers, mate. They're printing mages. Like, mages would bloody love this leader, right? Like, this leader for a mage archetype is kind of exactly what you want. It's like engine overload with cards like Spellweaver to Sayer as well. But the fact that it's just restricted to soldiers is kind of the downside of this one. We've got Gift next. Gift, I think, is A tier. I can't really put it in S tier. It's not quite on the same level as these three, but it's a really bloody good leader ability. Obviously, you've got the passive of Treants. Also, the vitality onto Hammer Dryads is just really bloody good. So I'm gonna put it here. A tier. All right, Onslaught. We have E tier. It's not as bad as Lockdown. Onslaught, honestly, better than these, in my opinion. Maybe it's not. I can't put Onslaught in F tier because Lockdown's in F tier, right? This is reserved for Lockdown. Onslaught, like, I posted an Onslaught video. I really liked it. Like, with Junod, Reckless Flurry just outshines it in every single way. But yeah, Habla's hit the nail on the head. Maybe we can talk about Royal Inspiration while we're at it. They kind of come together. They just need some sort of passive ability, right? These two. Like, I actually think they're fine if they have a passive. And the passive needs to be pretty good, right? They work in very similar ways. Boost, damage. They just need some sort of passive, right? To be ever considered. But I think, like, I actually like having these two abilities in the game. Again, some sort of passive needed. Off the books, kind of underrated. Again, you look at this and you say, okay, it's probably the worst Syndicate leader ability we've got here. But, like, you can't really put it in D tier because I still think it's good. And when tributes get support, this is just going to be better. Alright, Overwhelming Hunger. This is a very controversial leader ability. Because in my opinion, Vi killed this leader ability. Vi and this leader mean it's still good. Like, you can't really look past B tier. But I hate that this died for Vi, man. Like, I really miss my 3 charges of Overwhelming Hunger. Wholesome Death Wish decks. I really miss it, man. But Vi is still bloody ridiculously good. You could honestly argue this is an A tier leader still. It's probably an upper B tier. Just because of Vi, right? But that's all you really want to use it for. Like, Succubus would be much better if you had 3 charges. Death Wish, Wholesome Death Wish decks would be better as well. Or we can put this in B tier. Upper B tier. Pirate's Cove, A tier. Really bloody good. Honestly, I would even be tempted to put this in S tier, to be quite honest. It's just overshadowed by these two. Honestly, the controversial pick is probably this is an S tier leader ability. It's so good. Again, it's just overshadowed by Line Pocket's Jackpot. I know it's controversial because it's not in the meta at all. But honestly, I feel like it's an S tier leader. Like, let's say, like, all the other Syndicate leaders to be nerfed, this would still be like the best deck in the meta, right? Alright, Had Shadow Fury. I think it's a B tier leader, right? Leader's good. It's not A tier because you don't play it for warriors anymore because Blaze exists. I just think there's no reason to play Blaze. Again, I still think Battle Trance could work its way up to A tier depending on the latest drop of cards. Because we know there's like some heal and alchemy synergy. So if alchemy turns out to be really good, the leader could definitely work its way up to A tier. But Patch Shadow Fury overshadowed by alchemy, for example, by Battle Trance. It's overshadowed by like mid-rangey decks, by Ursine and Flurry, and for warriors it's kind of overshadowed by Blaze. But it's just a really good middle range. Like, you can just do a little bit of everything with it. Good leader. Pincer got nerfed recently by Provision, I think. So B tier seems pretty fair. Not doing a lot of anything, but obviously just consistently drawing all your cards in NR is pretty powerful. P-Strike is an A tier ability for sure. Not super popular in the meta right now, but the ability to kill things with bombs, serpent traps, Shiru also gives you the ability to play the 4 provision Sentinels. Really good leader ability. Flurry, very much the same. Flurry is very much the same. Again, just overshadows Flurry. Sorry, Fury. Right now it's more popular than Blaze of Glory. If Warriors becomes more popular, Blaze is going to be overshadowing it. But Flurry is just so good. Ignoring Armor, the Junod synergy. Again, leader abilities that have charges, you'll know, are really quite popular up at these higher levels. It's only really, and passive, it's only really Blaze of Glory, as well as Force of Nature, that are just like one-time things. Everything else, and tactical, everything else sort of has like charges or passives. Yeah, it's just a very powerful thing to be able to do. Rage of the Sea doesn't have that alchemy payoff, but it does have the Bride of the Sea synergy. Does have some synergy with Fulma. I think it's just like a C tier ability. It's kind of overshadowed by Battle Trance probably, but it's still pretty good. I think this needs to be doing more with alchemy cards for this to be relevant, like play Tears of Siren, for example. But again, I have to wait and see. Like, it's definitely a toss-up between which is better between Battle Trance and Rage of the Sea. But I think with like the healing card, the 5 provision Druid, Battle Trance is probably going to be more popular. Stockpile, yeah. I would imagine this works its way up slowly. But right now, in its current form, it's just a dysfunctional leader. You have to have cards adjacent to each other to gain the charges. Very, very difficult to get full value from it. However, if this sees reworks, I do think the cooldown art tuck could be pretty good. Shield Wall, I think, just probably needs some more provisions, but I'm going to put it in B tier. Very good with duels, of course. Ironsace, Selkirk. You can protect things as well. Maybe like Mage Northern Realms ends up using this. Again, Mage Northern Realms would prefer to use Moby, but this is just more flexible, right? You can just use this with a lot of decks and it's going to be good. Uprising is kind of the same. It's just a pretty good fundamental leader ability. Could have maybe put it lower on B tier though. Ever since Scytheman got nerfed, this obviously got a big nerf. Ursine, probably B tier. Like, Ceres is a little bit power crept. Otherwise, this would be A tier. Why does Mage NR work with Moby? It doesn't. It should, right? Like, if this could copy mages, this is the lead. You would use this for like the mage archetype, right? But it doesn't, so you won't. Probably. Yeah, I very much doubt you will. And then finally, White Frost. White Frost got quite a bit of support. White Frost is probably chilling in B tier. Carapace, honorable mention, wasn't in the tier list, which is kind of sad. I think Carapace is like low A tier. It's not popular right now, but fundamentally as a leader, it's just really good. But yeah, let's look through and see if there's any changes you want to make. Yep, Lockdown's in F tier on its own. I love seeing this. Is very good. I'm bloody so glad they deleted Lockdown. It's kind of crazy it was in the game for so long where it stopped leader abilities. Alright, general consensus is that Inspired Zeal is S tier. I'm keeping it at the top of A though. Like right now, if this was a meta report, it would be an S tier. But for me, it doesn't really deserve the S tier. When I look at these other leaders, I think Foltest is just hard carrying this leader. Uprising isn't that good, in my opinion. It's kind of power crept. Power crept is the wrong word. It's alright, but it's not got that many points, really. I think I'm putting it top of C. I agree it's a good leader, but it's right at the top of C. I relegated it, mate. I stand by it. I've been too kind to Stockpile, probably true. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you watched this far, please do consider giving the video a nice little like. And comment below, do you agree, disagree? What would you change? Because obviously it's just my opinion. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.